In all of the years of hosting things at the Sisters Enchanted and bringing magic online, there's a good handful of names that stand out to me. And I recognize these community members from hanging out with us time and time again and coming back and participating in the programs. And we love seeing those people and really like become, I guess, household names to us here at the Sisters Enchanted. And today's guest is one of those people. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome to this episode of Expedition to Soul. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and I am joined by, in my world, the one, the only Shay Raby. Hello, Shay. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It's
I was so
definitely
excited.
a pleasure.
So excited to see your name on the list when I put this call out there and you jumped at the calling.
Both feet first. I absolutely did. I saw it and I said, oh, it must be fate. Clicked the link, booked the time. I said, I have to talk to Sarah. So I'm here.
So good. Will you introduce yourself? Just kind of, whatever you want to share, who you are, where you are, all that good stuff.
Hi guys, I'm Shay Raby. I reside in Illinois and I found the Sisters Enchanted 2017. I joined Holistic Witchery July of 2019. I've been around the community and watched all the interesting changes. I've done the tarot classes, I've done the astrology classes, Enchanted Journey, all the things. And I am a mom of two girls, teenagers. One's getting ready to drive. Both of them will be in high school next year. I'm not ready for it. Been with my partner for almost 17 years. And I've been into the witchy, woo-woo, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, since I was about 15. So 20 years under my belt, and I absolutely love this community.
Well, we love you. So I'm so excited to talk to you. So one of the things I was asking you about before we started was how I was trying to get your perspective on being around for so long, because we've made a lot of changes and, just like people grow, we grow and we try to grow our offerings and whatnot. And your perspective on what that's been like to witness it, because I'm sure sometimes it's felt a little like, whoa, what are we doing now? Where am I supposed to be? I don't understand. But yeah, it's so very cool that you've been with us for so long. So I would love to know, way back in 2019, and even now, if you participated again, because you've done some of the work with us more than once, which is the great thing about so many of our offerings, that you can do it again in like Holistic Witchery. You don't have to pay again. You take it, and you take it like you've been taking it since 2019. So like, what was it like for you when you first joined us over there, or, even coming into closer in time, like what's it like to retake it or re-participate in some ways, even if you don't do it start to finish? So can you just tell me, like, why? What's your why? What's that like?
So for me personally, it's just for my personal use. I learn something new every round. When I first started it, we were doing it in waves. So I think we were doing it twice a year at that point, and I jumped in the summer program, and I believe it had just been revamped that time when I joined it from the previous time. So for me, it was completely new, completely different, but it was still a community of like-minded women who support each other, build each other up, and are basically there for each other. But you're also learning and honing your craft at the same time. So for me, it was just relearning some of the things that I had maybe forgotten, or learning something that I had never experienced before or never even thought to dip my toes into um, along this path. The self-paced courses, the first time I did it, I was a little overwhelmed, not gonna lie. It is overwhelming if you're not used to it, but the community is there. That's what everybody's there for, the support, the lives, ask questions along the way. I've never been scared to share my input or ask questions, um, or even just give people some motivation along the way. But watching everything get revamped and changed along the way to streamline it and make it easier for people to access has been incredible to watch. So the 5 eye spiral, when you guys introduced that and I jumped back in on that round, it's like, what is going on here? What is this? This is so weird. Why are we doing this? But the more you teach it and the more you take the class and the more times you do it over and over, it just becomes second nature. This is why it makes sense, because you start here, you follow it around, and you just keep coming back, and it's a never ending circle. It's always there. It works with the seasons, it works with the turning of the wheel. It matches the energy that's already there. And it's not like you're trying to create something that goes against the grain, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this last round was definitely eye-opening. I definitely needed it this time. And being able to come back in and just recenter and reground and reconnect with everybody was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I think that what I love from what you said is, well, your journey through how you witnessed it change over time, but how I think it's really cool. Like, how many things in life do you like invest in once and then 4 years later, even though we've up leveled it, upscaled it, like it was a little weird when we first introduced it, but made it better in the long run with the 5 eyes. Like here you are doing it again. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Like you said yes to yourself one time, and 4 years later, you get to say yes to yourself whenever you want and re-participate and just enjoy that. Very cool. Um, okay. So can you tell me something that maybe like changed for you or specific to what you learned with us or you've done in Holistic Witchery or the Sisters Enchanted, like a area of your life that you can really say like, yes, this thing did this for me?
For sure. So one of my favorite things that has come out of the Sisters Enchanted community was the lunar cycle or lunar cycles, the living your lunar year calendar and cycles. It's a whole document. You can get it printed, all the things. But when you guys first introduced that and you went through it with us, and there was a space in there on the wheel where you could pull a tarot card for like each day, but you could also track your energy levels, or if you were, I know you and Anna had done separate things for like the different phases of the moon, but like you could track the different so for me, I tracked my energy level. So like during the full moon, how was my energy? During the new moon, how was my energy? How was it in between when we're in the wanting or the waxing? And just kind of seeing how my energy fluctuated during the different cycles. I paid more attention when it came to, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why is my energy like this? As I started going through and following all the different lunar cycles that we've had. So like I found that at the new moon, I am more creative. At the full moon, I'm more exhausted. And I know that my creativity, I know it's there, but I know at the full moon, it's not the best time to like tap into it. It's time to kind of take a step back, reset, and then when it comes around to the new moon again, now it's time to just go. You have everything ready to go. Um, and I'm not fighting with myself anymore when it
Yeah.
comes to that. So that was amazing. I love that you guys introduced that. It was it definitely opened my eyes to the different, just the cycles and how everything has a time and a place. And then just being able to do a tarot pull just to kind of check in and kind of see what the cards were saying, or see what the energy was like for the day. That's always been something that I've enjoyed, and I love getting to know my tarot cards. Um, but yeah, that one definitely, the lunar cycles was something that changed everything for me and helped me understand everything better.
Yeah. Oh, so good. For sure. When you are not in resistance with yourself all the time because you just feel like I should be able to do this on demand whenever I want to. It's such a freeing experience and feeling.
For sure.
So that was the thing, is the moon cycle, is that your favorite lesson? Like, what's your favorite part of the class? Like your favorite part, your favorite lesson, or your favorite thing about holistic witchery?
Definitely like the moon cycles, but the chakras are also my favorite. So the chakras and energy centers, I've loved working with chakras and energy centers um, for the longest time. And we actually just did a co-witching yesterday, I believe, for the first quarter moon. And
Yeah.
that visualization, the visualization that you walked us through, I was literally in tears because it touched so deep. Like I was sitting here trying not to cry, and I'm like, nope, we're not going to fight it. We're just going to let it out. It needs to come out. And I pulled cards as we were doing it, and it was, I still have to post it, but it was awesome. Your visualizations always hit really, really, like they hit exactly where they need to hit, and they definitely find their target audience. And I find myself going back on some of them. But yeah, the chakras are definitely one of my favorite areas to work with.
I love that. I love the chakras because I think that, like, whatever level a person works with them on, whether you are a person who wants to know everything about the energy centers and the history and like get into the, I don't know, all the background with the like Vedic texts and whatnot, or you just want to like more surface level understand what they mean and the stories. But there's so much in our energy that we hold, and whatever way a person looks at it, I think having that structure at least to uncover, there's so much goodness in the energy centers and the stories and of the chakras. And I could just like do that all day, every day, and like dream about it and think about it and write about it. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. Um, what would you say to a person who's like maybe on the fence about hanging out with us at the Sisters Enchanted? Like maybe they feel like it's not a good investment, or they're not sure, or maybe we're just like a little too witchy and maybe it's a little nerve-wracking, or they just aren't quite sure if this is something that they need because it's not like food, roof over your head, you know, all that stuff. And it's different, really, like tarot cards and witch things, but also growth and, development at the same time. So what would you say to that person?
I've been that person. I was on the fence for a long time before I jumped in both feet. Um, the money situation was always in the back of my mind, living paycheck to paycheck and being on a strict budget. But when you find something that is going to not only help you grow spiritually, it's going to help you grow personally. And then it also helps you grow as a community member, not just in the Sisters Enchanted community, but in your own community, in your home community, your family community. When you find something that speaks to your soul and it really touches home, you find the time, you find the money, and you find the means to make sure to put yourself first. And that's what I did. I made sure if I needed to work, in my case, if I needed to work overtime to pay for what I wanted to do, I worked overtime to pay for it. There's always a way um, to make sure that if your soul needs something and it needs fed, you're gonna find a way to do it, no matter what the boundaries are, no matter what your stumbling stones, your blocks, whatever it is, you're gonna find a way to do it. And honestly, it's the Sisters Enchanted is more than just a community of witches. It's a community of women who empower other women and build other women up. We're there for each other. People go through hard times. They go through health issues. They have, massive, there's so many stories in the community of everybody that has either experienced a massive loss or a devastating financial situation or whatever it is. There's something in the community that you on some level can relate to. So having people that are literally in the same boat as you or have been where you're at and have dug themselves out, for me, there was nothing better than to be able to surround myself with people that have been where I was and are where I wanted to go. So they've already come out of wherever they were, and now I have something to look forward to. So when I invested, it was just that. It was an investment in myself, and I was finally doing something for myself after giving up everything for my household, my husband, my kids, everybody around me. And it was probably one of the most freeing things that I've ever done.
That makes me so happy. Oh, I think like what you said too is that we can look at these kinds of things and think, oh, it's just like this thing I want to do. But you and I were talking before we started too, and about astrology in particular, and how, because I tell the story of how my husband and I, it's, I'm pretty open with it, that our marriage has been very challenging. And there have been some years that, I was like, literally, what do I need to do to just be done with this, because it is too much. And it was through astrology, and then also like using the tools on myself from Holistic Witchery. So those tools on myself, but then understanding his astrology and my astrology, that I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't suck that bad. And he thinks I suck that bad. Like, look at our astrology. The same way that I think he's so awful, he must think the same about me, just based on the way we perceive the world. And that moment was, that changed our whole family forever, because I realized, oh my gosh, I don't hate him, and he's not awful. I say black, he says white every time. And then the tools in Holistic Witchery are what helped me to grow my capacity to have compassion for that, and to not be reactive, and, turn a struggle bus around, which impacted our kids. And so really, it's, as you said, it's not just about you. It's the trickle effect, or ripple effect, is amazing if you do the things, and you participate. So anyway, there you go. I just love talking to you today. I love the background you chose, a nice autumn vibe, good looking.
Yes.
I love that you said yes to this. I love that you've been hanging with us since 2017 and then 2019, and you're still participating today. So I really appreciate you being part of our community, because without people like you, it's people like you who make the community so great. And that is really the heart and soul of everything we do. Without that, everything else is just stuff on the internet. So thank you, Shay, for coming along for the ride. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Are you ready to do a little bit of this or that? And then we're really going to know. We're going to know whether or not I have to look at your astrology so we can still be friends. Depending.
Bring it on.
Your answers. It feels like so high stakes, like you've got to pick the right thing. But anyway, I just like to paint it that way. All right, here we go. So the first one, coffee or tea?
Ooh, that one's a good one. I prefer iced coffee if I'm going to drink it, but I like hot tea. So it just depends. It depends on the season. So if like in the fall, I'm more of a tea drinker. In the summer, I'm more of a coffee drinker. But if I have to choose, if I only have to have one, I'd rather have tea.
I love that, because I think that iced coffee, it's like everyone knows it now, but do you remember the time when like it was new and people didn't always drink iced coffee? But like, I think people have always drank iced tea. So you're the opposite. Like, you're just like, I love the iced coffee and the hot tea.
Yeah.
Do you prefer reading or listening to like an Audible book or something?
Definitely reading. If I
Yeah.
have a physical copy, that's even better because I love the smell of the book. But I found that with everything going digital, I have more ebooks than I do paper, like physical copies.
Yeah.
So, but definitely reading.
Yeah. All right. Do you prefer to be when you're outdoors? Would you prefer to be on the water or inland, like the woods or something like that?
Probably the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the water, but definitely the woods. They probably can't see it, but I'm pasty pale. I glow in the dark. Me and the sun don't get along. So the more shade, the better. We're going with the woods.
At least you know yourself. I think I know
Yeah,
the answer to the next one. Do you prefer spring or autumn?
definitely autumn. It's my favorite.
Yes. Okay. Tarot cards or oracle cards?
Tarot,
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Tacos or pizza?
tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty basic when it comes to pizza. I only eat like pepperoni or cheese. I don't really branch out much over that, but there's an infinite amount of combinations for tacos, and I'm here for it.
I love both of those. So the day that I have to make this choice myself would be pretty, I don't know what I would say. I should probably stop asking other people so nobody ever asks me that. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Definitely a night owl. I life of a third shifter right now, and it's working out to my benefit. Um, I don't like mornings,
No.
not at all.
Yeah, third shift. I would hope that you're in alignment with that schedule and that you're doing what you
Yep.
like. Um, all right, another food one. Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, waffles.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, I've asked this question a few times recently, and that's been the answer. What is your reason for preferring waffles?
Um, pancake waffles are easier to cook than pancakes. Pancakes burn much easier. And I'm so picky about what goes in my pancake batter. Like I put vanilla in mine, I put cinnamon, I put nutmeg. It has to taste good. Waffles, you can just throw it together, pop it in the waffle maker, and then top it with whatever.
Yeah.
Pancakes, it's a little harder to, I mean, you can, but it's harder to top pancakes than it is waffles.
Yeah, I know. I've been discussing with others about how waffles have all of these little like crannies or buckets, and you can make every bite perfect.
Yeah, syrup, whipped cream, chocolate sauce, or you can make a sandwich out of it. You can't really, the pancakes get soggy, the waffles are crisp. You can make a sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
I'll take my
We
waffle sandwich.
start like a waffle podcast and just discuss the merits of waffles. You're
I
like,
mean, I could have been like some of those people that are like French toast. Neither. I like French toast
yeah, yeah. Totally,
because
bro.
that's the
Totally.
argument.
All right, our last one. Do you prefer to take a phone call or a text?
I'm probably one of the weird ones. I love phone calls. I mean,
Too.
I'll text if I have to, but I love hearing people's voices and actually being able to hear their emotions and how the conversation makes them feel because
Yeah,
so many things can go wrong in a text message. You can read it one way and they can mean it totally different.
this is true.
So, phone calls for sure.
I think mine's like highly dependent on who it is, you know. Some people I'd be like, just text me because I don't want to speak to you. Some people like, oh, I'll talk on the phone with you for an hour.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is interesting. Because so many people are phone call, avoidant nowadays. So I'm like, I'm gonna get into everyone's psyche by asking that question. Which one are you? Okay, thank you, Shay, for doing this. I appreciate it. It's been a delight to talk with you. Everybody come and hang out with Shay in Holistic Witchery. You can check that out at holisticwitchery.com. And Shay is in there and pops in and out over the years, but she's a household name to us. So you hang out long enough and she'll be one to you too. So come say hello, and fellow community members, be sure to say hi to Shay next time you see her. And thank you again. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. Until next time, Shay and I both hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead.
If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday and astro forecasts for the week ahead every Friday. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.